Welcome everyone, Questin here with the discussion about World of Warcraft Classic, Season of Mastery as they're calling it, or Classic Fresh as the rest of us are going to call it. Season of Mastery just doesn't roll off the tongue quite as well. But what are they doing with Season of Mastery? What are they doing with Classic Fresh? Well, they've told us, according to a blue post on their website, and it's actually quite interesting to see what they're gonna jump into. So, greeting adventurers, WoW Classic Season of Mastery is coming, giving all players a chance to start fresh and a level playing field. This time around, we're planning slightly more changes. We will launch WoW Classic Realms for Season of Mastery. These realms will invite new and current Classic players to begin fresh at level 1 for a complete reset of WoW Classic's content, starting again at the very beginning of the World of Warcraft saga. What's different this time around? As with the release of WoW Classic, we're planning 6 content release phases. In WoW Classic Season of Mastery, our phase unlocks will happen faster. We're planning a 12-month cadence with phase unlocking roughly every couple of months. What does exactly that mean? I don't know, but anyway, here's a current outline for the 6 phases. Phase 1, Molten Core, Onyxia, Moradin, PvP Honor System, and Battlegrounds up for phases 3 and 4. So BG's right from the start, PvP Honor System right from the start, as it probably should have been in Classic. Very welcome development there, by the way. Having that from the very start. Maybe PvP will be better this time around. We'll see. Phase 2, Dire Maul, Azrugos, Kazakh. Question is, so you're getting Dire Maul with the world bosses, but how big of is the difference going to be between Phase 1 and Phase 2? And I kind of disagree with the decision to split Dire Maul from Phase 1, because some people say, oh, the gear from Dire Maul trivializes gear in Phase 1. Personally, I'm not looking forward to the idea of doing LBRS again, right, for a certain bow. I'd rather do Dire Maul. Anyway, Phase 3, Blackwing Lair, Darkmoon Fair, Darkmoon deck drops begin. So BWL with Darkmoon Fair. Phase 4, Zul'Gurub and Green Dragons. Phase 5, AQ War Effort, and AQ opens as the War Effort dictates. And Phase 6, Naxxramas. Okay, all very well and good. Some slight changes, but mostly as they were in Classic, with the major difference of PvP. But here's the really juicy bit. Raid boss updates. The original release of WoW Classic was made to recreate the difficulty and challenge of patch 1.12 from original World of Warcraft. While we strive to bring a faithful recreation of that release, many raid encounters turned out to be easier than the first time around. Players simply were more experienced and prepared, and patch updates greatly increased player power. With that in mind, we're planning a few changes to make those early raid bosses pack a bit more punch and attempt to recapture the original challenge they presented. These changes currently include, but are not limited to, world buffs like Rallying Cry of the Dragon Slayer and others disabled in raid instances. A lot of people will be happy with this. Some people won't. Some purists won't be. But man, does it feel great to not have to fucking worry about world buffs again. Restoring mechanics that were removed early on to some raid bosses. No boss debuff limit up from 16 debuffs in WoW Classic. Increased health on bosses to offset player buffs and remove debuff limit. Will we still have a player buff limit? That's kind of a question that I'm curious about. But man, this is great. Like, world buffs suck, right? And having raid bosses that you can kill in a couple of seconds isn't that great either. So having bosses with more HP is probably something they should have done the first time around. But that's not all. Due to the Season of Mastery faster content release cadence, we're also planning several improvements and changes. These include faster leveling. We're planning on increasing experience gains from what they were in the first iteration of WoW Classic. Our current plan is to set them close to what 160 XP rates are in Burning Crusade Classic, with a bigger focus on quest XP increases. Great. Quality of life updates. In addition, we're planning on introducing certain improvements that weren't in the original WoW Classic release, but that we think can help create a better experience, such as meeting stones converted to summoning stones, increase mining and herbalism nodes. Realms tend to be more densely populated in WoW Classic compared to OK. Increasing gathering node spawns should provide a more consistent economy this time around. And finally, WoW Classic Season Mastery will have an open beta beginning October 5th. And all of this, like, I'm looking at all of this by Blizzard and I'm like, yes, you're making the right decisions. Unlike with Burning Crusade, unlike with Classic, Blizzard is actually making the correct decisions here with Classic Fresh, with Season of Mastery. They're trying to fix the economic issues that did happen, lotuses, mining nodes, improving that, adding more nodes, making the economy more viable. Nothing said on bots. Will they deal with the bot pandemic? Will they deal with gold selling pandemic? I don't know. Hopefully the experience increases are going to reduce the insane amount of boosting that happens in instances. The problem with boosting in instances is this. If boosting in instances, hell, if doing dungeons over and over and over again is the most efficient way of leveling, then that's just a crap leveling experience, to be quite blunt about it. It can be fun for a couple hours, running a couple of Maraudon runs, running a couple of Scar Monasteries, but doing it for 20 hours straight? I don't know about you, but I fucking hated my life in Burning Crusade doing it. I didn't hate it so much in Classic. When it first came out, it wasn't that miserable an experience for a while, but then it did become a miserable experience as the days wore off. And then getting boosted in TBC Classic, which again was the most efficient way of getting level, is not a great experience. But that's not all there is, right? What are they going to do about pet tagging, right? People getting experiences from mobs that pets are killing from a hunter. What are they going to do about X number of things that people can exploit that just create a very fast leveling speed? Because let's be clear on this. People want to level quickly. And I think what Blizzard should do is focus people on quests, because it creates a more lively open world. It pushes people to play together, to do those quests in the open world. It shouldn't be that you just step in an instance and you stay there for however many hours. So it is good what they're doing. I don't necessarily think that it's going to be enough. That's with regards to leveling and the economy. With regards to raiding, holy crap, is it a very welcome development. Some people are gonna want to shout at me for saying that. Some people in my guild or former guilds, yeah, I've been part of several guilds. I no longer play WoW at this very moment. Will play the beta, I admit. I am interested. I genuinely am interested in seeing how this is gonna play out. I kind of missed the classic train when it originally came out, but I am genuinely excited to see how this is going to play out. I think that this is how they should have done Classic, with changes like this: more HP, disabling moral buffs, so less annoying gameplay. I do think there's some work to be done, right? I don't think it's going to be perfect. I think Alterac Valley needs some fixes, Battlegrounds need some improvements, the honor system may need some improvements, all that kind of stuff. There are things that they still need to work on. But these are all positive. But the things that they're doing in general, with regards to raiding, BGs, the economy, the open world, they are positive steps. Maybe they're not the kind of changes that I would want, the kind of changes that I feel should be made to the game to actually really fix the issues. But hey, it's Blizzard in a way being cornered, because let's be clear on this. The reason Blizzard is doing all of this is because they're in a pretty rough situation as a company. They need a win. And hey, this is a win for them. This is a way that they can win in a fairly cheap way, you could say, right? But it's what people want, right? That's the thing. People care about vanilla. There are private vanilla servers running right now because people are just interested in that peer, because what it has to offer is unique. That's the thing. It's a unique experience. Far more than Burning Crusade or Wrath or anything else. What vanilla has to offer is certainly a unique experience. TBC, yeah, it's a great period if done correctly. I don't think they did it correctly with TBC Classic. That's where I stand. I'm not going to change my opinion. They fucked it up in many ways. And I feel that they screwed up Classic in many ways. With the number of servers that they released initially, how they handled the launch, how they underestimated the player base, how they underestimated the bots, the gold sellers, all that. But I guess they've learned some lessons. Lessons that they should have learned in the first place. Some things should not have happened to begin with. But to be fair, they were also listening to the wrong people on this. So overall, reading this announcement, we knew it was going to happen. We knew Classic Fresh was coming out. We knew Blizzard was going to do it. Come on, the PTR situation was pretty much telling us directly, it's like, yeah, we're doing Classic Fresh. And now we have confirmation. And we also have confirmation of some of the things that people saw on that PTR. So here's what I'm going to say. See you in the beta in a couple of days when it launches. Or maybe not. I don't know. we shall see. We'll see how it plays out. I am curious, right? Like, as much as I might detest Blizzard in many significant ways at this particular point, they are still the company that made the game that I played for hours and hours and hours on end back in the day with vanilla. I mean, I didn't raid hardcore in vanilla. Hell, I didn't raid in classic all that much, casual stuff. But vanilla is something special for a lot of people. For me personally, my personal experience with vanilla, it's dealing with Elwyn Forest. It's dealing with Hogger. It's dealing with the entire storyline around Stormwind. Going to Loch Modan, doing the Trog quest as well for some extra experience. That's what vanilla is to me. And those are some of the most memorable hours I've ever had in gaming. Yes, Elwyn Forest, the Westfall, the whole storyline of the Defias Brotherhood, how that, and the whole storyline of all the human areas and how it all ties together with the Nixia, when Nefarian, then you add the Dwarven storyline. It's a really great story overall. It's very compelling, and it's probably one of the better stories that they've told in World of Warcraft. Without cinematics or voice acting, or minimal voice acting, anyway. So I'm looking forward to doing all that again. Costin here, signing out. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and enable notifications, and see you soon.